Today we celebrate the birthday of our Blessed Virgin Mary. Birthdays are meaningfully celebrated only because the person has become a life giver, only because the person has made a difference in the lives of others. Physical birth is nothing unless this physical birth is turned into a life of thanksgiving, a life of praise, a life of giving, and a life of love. That is why it is not how long we lived. Jesus only lived 33 years old. It's not how long we live, it's how well we lived. And this is very important because we do not measure the greatness of a person by the length of his life, but by the depth of his life. And so when we look at the person of Mary, certainly, we have much to rejoice for her and her birth, because she is the one who has shown us how to live our life in such a way that it is always a life of constant praise and thanksgiving. The Magnificat sums up her entire life. She was always making a difference in the lives of others, always giving herself to the service of God and the service of her fellow men. We too have been called to fulfill our role in the plan of God. Everybody has a part to play in the history of salvation. Every life is interdependent on others. How we live our life will have an impact on the lives of others. Sometimes we destroy all those people who have the opportunity to come our way or to meet us or to be under our care, or we can give life. We have a very powerful opportunity. We can either be a grace or a curse in the lives of people. And all of us, we will influence each other for better, for worse, for good or for bad. And that is why it's so important for us to ask ourselves how we live our life. The life that God has given to us. Can people look at us and say, our life has been a joy to them, a thanksgiving? Otherwise, we would have lived our life in vain. We need to cooperate with the plan of God. Grace is given to all of us, not only to Mary. We are not without grace to do what the Lord wants us to do. But we just have to do what the Lord wants us to do. Not do something the Lord does not mandate for us. And this is where sometimes, instead of cooperating with the plan of God, we want to disrupt His plan. Because we want things our own ways. We want to do our own things. Because of pride, because of insecurity, we don't want to accept the role, the place that God has placed us in the history of salvation, in the lives of our brothers and sisters. Every one of us has an important part to play. There is no one in this world that is not important. If everybody plays his or her part, this will be a happy world. But no. Sometimes all of us want to play the same part. If everybody in the orchestra want to play the same instrument, there is no orchestra. And that was what Mary did. Responding to the grace, of course, is not easy. We can be certain. Having the grace means cooperating, responding to the grace of God every time. And all of us, God has given you that grace. You cannot say you are without. When God chooses you, He qualifies you. This we must be clear. Just like God has chosen Mary, God qualifies Mary to be the mother of God. And of course, having been qualified does not mean to say there is nothing else to do. It's a lot of cooperation. Mary had to go through intense sacrifices, testing her faith in God all the time. Mary continued to trust in God. And same thing too, this is what we are called to do. Sometimes, trying to live out our vocation, trying to be a gift to others is not easy. The giving is difficult, it's a challenge, but this is where we are called to be faithful. let us not make excuses. There are some people, because they don't want to cooperate with the grace of God. They blame their parents, they blame people, they blame their colleagues, they blame everyone. Hey, Jesus did not come from a family of saints, His ancestors were prostitutes and adulterers like King David, murderers. But Jesus turned out to be a good man. So don't blame your generational sin. Everything blame my parents because I don't do well in life. That is not true. God has given us the grace. We can overcome. If we have not lived our life properly, I think today we need to reorder our life. It's never too late. Never say, I have wasted my life. Now I'm already 70 years old, all wasted. It is never too late. If we give ourselves to Him, He will help us. Even whatever mistakes we have made, it will be for our greater good. And we still can redeem ourselves, and we still can redeem our life, because the greatest birthday that we celebrate is not our yearly birthday. It is on our death day. When we are reborn into heaven, that will be the greatest day, because that day we make ourselves a gift to God, the perfect gift of our love, of our life.